Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying, courtesy of Jeff Riley. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky, the proprietor of Stunthangar, will not approve you. If you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes even I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can make comments or ask your questions during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you find Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, Saturday at John's, contest coverage, flying at the field that Sparky does on this platform, informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Subscribe and share the videos. Comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube memberships, which start at just $4.99. There's 2 tiers above that, and which is less than 17 cents a day. And by the way, I am a member myself. I have the $4.99 come out of my checking account each and every month, and I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be doing a good thing supporting the hobby and sport that you love. You can also show your love and support through super chat donations. Right over here, it's down below the chat box, and it's a big $sign, and you can donate any amount you want there. And please support our program, and you get incredible value. If you ask me, you get Sparky's show that he does. I think he broadcasts about 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes 2 times a day, and he has like 55 years plus experience. And then his partner in crime, John Jordan, also has a lot of experience, probably close to that. And then the illustrious panel that I have, I have former national and world champions on my panel. So great information for you to draw from. So please support us. Now, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. And with your memberships, you'll get special badges that Sparky and I can see. You'll have a special sticker next to your name or your handle. That is the only time you get that kind of sticker is if you are a patron of our channel. And then you get access to unlimited replay of member-only videos. These are videos you might not find anywhere else. I know there's some of Al Raby videos on there, just to mention a few. And plus, Sparky has a once a month question and answer show for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm only in here twice a week, Monday and Friday nights. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you would, place your question or comment on the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which Sparky shot with his video camera of me flying his orange Junar XL. He's changed the color, refinished it. Now it's more of a white with some orange trim. And you can watch me fly on the L pad at the national championship and see my pattern. And please, like, subscribe as well, my channel. And when you comment there on my channel, see, because that's my channel, I'll be notified right away and be able to respond to you quickly. Whether this is Sparky's channel, and I'm not in here but twice a week. So if you make comments regarding to me, then I might not even see it. So with all that being said, I want you to consider supporting us, join alongside us to keep this hobby alive. And I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't do or say around your own children and grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post a link to the Stunthangar forum. And let me see here. Where is that? That's over here. All right. So this is how you get into our program. You need to go to Stunthangar forum, go to At the Bench, and there's a link there under At the Bench with today's date, May 23rd, 2022. And then hit that link in there, and then you'll be able to come on in. Now I'm going to go to what I call the control panel on Sparky's YouTube channel. And let me see how it's going. I hope everybody had a good weekend. I did some work on my plane called Precious Balsa. And I was actually pretty excited about doing that because I've been building this plane for a couple of years, but I'm telling you, I haven't been working on it every day of the year. I hardly ever work on it. And now that it's on my workbench, it's right there and it's available for me to work on it. So I'm looking at the what I call the control panel. I see we have 6 concurrent viewers, 3 likes. So if you haven't hit that like button, please smash it, hit it, kick it, touch it, nudge it, and get it up to 100%. And if you are watching this as a replay, please don't forget to, before you leave, to like. And if you dislike it, let me know what that is about too. What maybe I can do something about it, maybe I can't. Now in the super chat, we have the person from Azerbaijan. I think I'm probably blowing the name. I need to see it in front of me. And I don't know what he's writing, but I appreciate that you are doing that. Thank you very much. And then Dennis Adamison says, like this show. Thank you very much, Dennis. I appreciate that. And Jack Snavely, he says, hi. And no question or comment tonight, just saying hi again to all the people in the hobby worldwide. And he has some airplane stickers there. Thank you so much, Jack. Appreciate it. And so anyways, I am so excited too about getting ready to fly the SV11 again when I get back to it. Because being electric, I can actually increase the RPMs. I'm not sure about my KR timer, if it does it in increments of 50 RPMs or 100, but that is amazing to me to be able to fine tune it to that level. I haven't done it yet, but next time I go out, I'm going to be going into the timer programming and hit the increase button a couple times, take it for a flight, and then see if it's enough. Plus, I'm hopefully will be able to extend my flying lines. Right now, I'm flying it on 018s that are 64 feet eyelet to eyelet. I'd like to get closer to a maximum of 70 feet eyelet to eyelet, if that's possible. Yeah, so that's from center of the fuselage to center of the handle. The AMA limit is 70 feet. And why not fly on the maximum amount you can? That gives you more space to do your maneuvers. Hello, Gary. How are you doing this evening?
All right. I'm the only one here.
Yeah, you're the first one in.
Golly.
I started a minute early, so maybe that's why. And I have Jeff Riley in the chat. He says, hi, Charles. had to send a like. Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate that. I was thinking about you recently, Jeff. I was trying to think, what was it regarding though? I was in the garage. But anyhow, Jeff, hope you and your family is doing well, buddy. I miss visiting you guys, and we got to do this again. Maybe for sure. Let's get together in August 21st, the Palmer Joust. But let's make it happen. I know that when last time you came out there, I was flying the Olympic and you was rooting me on, and I appreciate that. So anyways, that's what's been happening with me. Actually, Gary, I don't know if you saw, but I have they're mold bucks. That's what I made the molding shells out of for the top and bottom blocks of
Okay.
the precious balsa.
Precious balsa. Okay.
So I put slots in the foam mold buck to make perfectly shaped formers. So that's what I did this week, and I meant to bring it up to show everybody, but the formers for the shells are all perfectly sanded to match the contour of the mold buck that I molded the shell around.
Okay.
So when I put those formers in there, you're talking about a perfect fit because it's the same molding buck that made the shell. So
Right.
that's gonna give me a superior glue joint because it's gonna be a perfect fit, which should make it strong, so I'm really excited. So we have 12 concurrent viewers, 7 likes, 0 chat revenue. Please, if you can, I know gas prices might have hurt some people and have no extra income, but if you do have some extra, you want to put toward a good cause, please support this. Give us some super chats and consider joining Sparky's the Stunthangar YouTube channel with just $4.99 a month. Jeff Riley says we can meet at the joust. August, I might be ready to fly by then. Hey, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, so one thing I discovered, Gary, is some of the images of the Strega, that's not precious balsa. The precious balsa fuselage looks different. So I know that if you think about it, you know what I'm saying.
Oh.
So
You got a Strega wing.
Yeah, Strega wing, and then the precious balsa fuselage is different. It's taller, and the canopy is more forward. It's almost at the leading edge of the wing. The canopy on the Strega is over the where the flap horn is, almost over the flaps.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just
so your body's different.
Yeah, yes, body being the fuselage.
Fuselage, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just a note, just a little mental note. No one knows what we're talking about.
No.
So anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out there again with the SV11, but I'm really looking forward to getting the hopefully I'll have for sure precious balsa completed and ready, hopefully trimmed out for Las Vegas Stunt Challenge. But I'm pushing to try to have it ready for the contest in August. So we got May, June, July. Yeah, hopefully I can pull it together. I think this weekend I might have worked on the plane for an hour or two. So hopefully keep it up. I mean, I'm trying to do 15 minutes a day. So sometimes when I don't get it, I'll just work an hour for those 4 days that I miss.
Now, is your wing already covered?
No, it's not covered. It's assembled.
It's just skeletons.
Yeah, it's all framed up.
Framed up.
But I'm going to go through it and cut out. I was talking to a gentleman about my precious balsa, and he had the thought that maybe I can take 2 out of 3 ribs out, because the Strega rib spacing is only like 1.5 inches. I mean, there's a lot of ribs.
A lot of ribs.
Now, ribs don't necessarily weigh a lot, but no sense no sense having extra weight along for the ride.
But the way they're doing them now, putting them at an angle like that wipes out ribs right there.
Say it again.
When
Oh,
you,
yeah,
the
with-
ones that like Sparky does, you know.
Yes, yeah, the geodetic. Yeah, unfortunately, this wing is not geodetic.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any planes that have. I think the Thunder Gazer. I have the Bob Hunt makes what's called a lost foam system.
Yeah.
And I have it for the the plane that Dave Fitzgerald flies. It's called the Thunder Gazer.
Yeah.
I actually have the Thunder Gazer kit, and I have a Thunder Gazer lost foam system, which helps you build the wings. It's a foam wing that's been cut diagonally to allow for you to take those pieces out and put a piece of wood against it and sand it perfectly to that contour. So we have a Keith coming in. Let me see which Keith this is. Surprise, surprise. So anyways, so that's when I will have the geodetic wing. I could possibly, I know Bob Hunt is out of the wing making business. Hey, Keith Trossel, how are you this evening? Oh, your mic's not working again. Still don't hear you. Just click on the microphone down in the lower left corner of your screen, and right click on that, and it should have a sub menu pop up, and you'll be able to select your microphone. I'll let you fool with that. Why you get that? And I know one day this would be a no issue for you. It's just a matter of just figuring out what you got to do every time you come in. I got to set the show up, and I got to do these little things to make the show work and make the show happen myself. But you hear us okay, right? Right, Keith? All right, great. All right.
Now he's got the thing muted.
But we don't hear you.
Right.
Yeah, your mic is muted.
Muted now.
Now it's unmuted. Now
There
say
he is.
something, Keith.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
We hear you.
I'm a little slow at this stuff. Barbara is the one that sets this up for me, and I'm going to have to get something different here. She's been gone for a week, so I'm totally lost.
Oh, you did good though. You came in by yourself, and you got the mic working, and you got the camera working. That's pretty good. You know, one of the biggest struggles I have, Keith, in promoting this show is there's a couple things. It's kind of a combination of, but mostly the technology, is a problem for some people. But once you get, and I've told people, and I'm telling everybody right now, if you have any issues, contact me on my YouTube channel called Flying Control Line Stunt. Let me know, and we can set up a one-on-one, and we'll just have our own private Zoom meeting, and we'll get you hooked up and show you how to do it. I've been able to help other people, and now they're doing it all the time on their own. But the other thing is some people in our hobby really just aren't really that social. They don't really care for anything social, and especially being on the internet. And that's pretty much that. And then some people, I guess, also think they don't have anything to share. So, which I'm sure they do. They just don't realize how much they know. They think everybody knows it, but not everybody knows what they know.
That meeting Friday was awesome. With Dean Pappas here, with Bob Hunt. Dean Pappas is quite a name.
Yes, I agree. I was really excited about that. And then we got Big John in the house, who's one day older.
Hi, John.
Hi, 1 year and 1 day.
1 year, one day older. His birthday was yesterday.
Hey, my finger's a lot better than it was last November, John.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Did you stick your fingers into the propeller?
Yeah,
Oh
Ouch.
man.
like 12 stitches worth.
He almost took it.
Ooh.
Then
And there was a bunch on the hand that there wasn't anything left to sew. It's just kind of mush.
Well, we could-
Wow.
if he'd got it any better, then we could have called him Keith Stumpy.
Now, you are probably more familiar than I am. So what kind of thing did Bob Palmer use to fly? We understand he was missing some digits.
Yeah, he had his fingers cut off in a saw or something at his work. He built wind tunnel models for Lockheed, and he had an accident doing that. But he fixed up a leather glove sort of thing that the lines hooked onto, and it became part of his hand, really. And that's how he flew with that.
Yeah, he had 2 screws coming out of it. And he slipped the handle in there, twisted up some wing nuts, and like I say, it became part of his hand, literally.
It really was. It's clamped on. He couldn't let it go. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No, they didn't affect the way. In fact, it's sort of a firm way, a neat way to get the handle attached firmly to your hand. That's,
Yeah,
unless,
he didn't need a line thong, did he?
no.
We're just talking about Bob Palmer's apparatus he made, Dennis. I think he took off his ears. Can you hear us, Dennis?
Now I can.
Now we can. Okay. So Keith and John,
Works
I
much
asked
better
them
when you
about-
turn when I turn the headset on. Yeah.
I had asked John and Keith about Bob Palmer's apparatus or jig he made so he could fly. Did you ever see Bob Palmer fly?
I did not.
Okay.
I understand he wore his handle was kind of a glove arrangement or something like that. He didn't have Keith, what was it, the first knuckle of his fingers?
He lost the tips of several of his fingers were gone down to second or third knuckle, I think. They weren't clear down to his palm, but
Yeah.
he wasn't able. He had to have this glove sort of thing that strapped on his hand, his palm, and then the handle clamped onto that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so his fingers, he could not actually wrap around a grip. He could
No.
probably, like
Hmm.
position the handle, but he couldn't actually hold the handle.
I think the only time I ever saw him fly, he did a demonstration flight once. Somebody rebuilt a Thunderbird at VSC before it went to the museum, and he flew it there. He did most of the pattern, but the wing had a really bad warp, and I was really surprised he could even get the thing through the pattern without thing turning in on him, because the wing was warped. But anyway, he did it, and it's quite a sight to see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You talk about influential. Take a look at the early designs, the 50s and everything like that. The Palmer designs are like, you can see them all over the European airplanes, the Australian airplanes and everything like that. You can see Palmer's influence in all of them.
Yeah, he completely turned stunt around with airplane, smaller engine, and light wing loading and moderate speed. They still flew fast. He could still fly fast. They did demonstration with guy designed the Madman.
Yates.
J.C. Yates, and they did some demonstration flights flying the 2 Madmen together, and they were doing like 80, 90 miles an hour and doing loops and so forth in formation.
Wow.
That's the way Yates flew. He flew fast, but Yates was a subscriber that with the Madman with fairly light wing loading, but lots of power with the Warwick 64s he used on that. But I never saw Yates fly. I got to shake Yates' hand once. I met him when he was inducted to the Pampa Hall of Fame. I was able to present him the presentation for that. They had a special meeting at a club of his that was there in Southern California. That was an honor for me. But anyway, I digress. There's a picture of Yates and Palmer standing together holding their, one of them holding a regular madman and the other was holding the larger madman. And that's the one that pictures what Don Hutchinson used to draw up the plans for the big madman. There's more to that story than that, but I'll let it go at that.
All right.
Mhm.
What's Palmer's first name?
Bob
Bob?
Palmer, yeah.
Okay, so he had an airplane under his name too, didn't he?
Several.
I
Oh,
mean,
several. Yeah, the
I
smoothie,
mean,
and the
Smoothie. Yeah, that's
Thunderbird,
what I thought. Okay.
and the
Yeah,
Thunderbird.
right.
Now, I've
Yeah.
seen the skyscraper, but I've never seen one campaigned by anybody. Did skyscraper do anything in the stunt world?
No, and I'm kind of surprised. I've got the plans for that were done up there. Is going to go, England was going to make somebody, Keelcraft is going to make a kit out of it. And I've got the vellum plans for that. I got, when Bob died, he was living with, there in Tucson. And I got a whole stack of plans came from Palmer, including
Wow.
the vellums for that skyscraper. The plans are huge, but I never saw one fly. I don't think I've ever seen one, and there's no reason it shouldn't work. It's designed for, I think, the K&B Vico 45 or something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
B40.
or it was okay, and it's about the same size as a shark, I think, or maybe even a little bit bigger. But I never saw one. I never saw anybody try to campaign with it, and there's no reason it wouldn't work. And it'd be a nice classic airplane for somebody to do.
Yes, it would. There's a gentleman in the Detroit area. Keith, you may remember Ron Adams. He actually went on to design a lot of other really big airplanes, the Marut, the A6 Intruder and stuff like that. But when we first met him, he was flying the skyscraper. He had a couple of them, I think. And they were the first big airplanes we saw. You know, we saw his before my dad built his first Shark or anything like that. And it looked, I remember it well. I remember it positively, I should say. And I wouldn't be afraid to build one at all. I think it's well, it's got all of the Palmer touches on it. It's got a really, really nice airfoil. I think it looks like it would build fairly light. Wouldn't have to, wouldn't be a real power monster. Vico 45 was a strong engine, but by today's standard, I don't know, you could probably match it with an LA 46 or something like that. And of course, somebody would put a 60 in it, which would be kind of sad. But the thing that from the article, Palmer was pushing for the idea that the bigger airplane was capable, even though it was bigger, it was capable of actually flying a little bit slower, which was suiting his style. I believe that was the last design he had published.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
And very thoughtful, well-written article and everything like that. It's thoughtful design. It's a good looking airplane. Over under lead outs. I always love that. So
Yeah.
Speaking
Hey,
of,
let me say hi to Phil and Lynn. Thank you guys for coming in. And Caffeine, thank you for coming in.
Charles?
Great. And we was just
Hi.
talking about Bob Hunt, not Bob Hunt, but Bob Palmer with his hand, how he had to make an apparatus to hold the handle and lines. And we was talking about his skyscraper. So that's what you guys came in hearing about those planes. So
Yeah,
now who did I
it's a
interrupt?
beautiful airplane.
that was me.
Go ahead, John.
I was going to ask Keith and Denny if they ever, one plane I always, when I first saw the plans clear back in like 1960 something, I always wanted to build one and I never built one because I was a little afraid of it. That was the High Boy. Did you ever see
Yeah,
build and fly a High Boy?
yeah, yeah. In fact, I went to VSC with Boxcar Chief, and where did he go? Keith gave me areas. Keith gave me the plan, sent me the plans to it, and I had all kinds of problems around here with everybody telling me it was only plastic legal. But Keith had sent me a letter with it, and I showed him the letter. Nobody argues with Keith, so it is old time legal. But
Yeah,
it's a neat airplane.
I've got that in my file. I took that magazine article, a copy of it, and the magazine plans, and took to Bob. That's when he's living there in Tucson. And because of the dates involved with that thing, it was co-designed with, oh boy, getting lousy with names.
Ted Goyette.
Ted Goyette, yeah.
Yeah. And he's the one that designed it and didn't finish it. Bob finished it, and it's a pretty airplane. And I asked Bob, is it possible that this thing was designed before December 1952? And he says, well, definitely it was. And he signed on those plans, designed before December 52, signed Bob Palmer. And I still got in my file, and I wrote to Pampa. It was published in Stunt News. It's old-time legal. And see, you had yours, and who's a guy who was in San Francisco and moved to Oregon. He built one. It's a pretty airplane. And I think you just have to build a thing light. There's no reason it shouldn't work. And the high wing, it wasn't that much of a high wing.
Mhm.
No, it really wasn't. It's not as out of line as a boxcar is.
No,
It actually flies better than a boxcar. And I love a boxcar.
It's
So-
no more out of line as far as thrust line to wing chord than what a typical stunt ship is. It just, this is the other way around.
Yeah.
And
Well-
it takes a special bell crank to work the flaps in the elevator, because the way you have to hook up the flaps in the elevator with regard to the push rods. But anyway, it's old-time legal, and I would probably put it in the category of a barnstormer as far as capability is concerned.
Mhm.
And the right power. I think an OS-25 would be a perfect engine for that airplane. An
Yeah.
FP-25.
So you wouldn't look at a Brodak 25?
That would work. But I think the OS-25 FPs. Well, I don't have that. I don't know anything much about the Brodak, but it would work. Just keep it light.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think people use the Brodaks and the FPs just about interchangeably. So I don't think there'd be, I don't think, if one would work, I'd certainly think the other would work. But,
Yeah.
now the lead outs come out the wing, under the wing, right?
yes.
I think
They are in the wing.
Okay, because I was thinking of the center of gravity, the vertical center of gravity, but apparently, like say, you build it light enough, shouldn't be a problem, I guess. It always scared me, but
Well, the guy look, I couldn't remember.
the wing, if you took a modern stunt ship, turn it upside down, like
Same
flying
thing.
it inverted, it's about the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
And I don't think you should be that scared of a high wing. Dick Mathis did a profile Citabria, and he said that thing flew as good as a regular conventional airplane stunt ship with a low wing. It had the wing above the thrust line, it wasn't excessive, much like what the high boy is. But one airplane I would like to build if I ever have the time would be that Citabria that Dick Mathis did.
Well, you couldn't go wrong. So he had pretty good designs.
Everything he did worked.
Yeah.
There's one other thing about the high boy. I remember seeing on the plans, it showed the engine mounted inverted. And in the picture of the airplane that was built, the engine was side mounted.
Side mounted with apple cheeks on the front.
Yeah, with the cheeks on it.
That's right.
And if you're worried about the vertical CG, of course, that side mounted engine would have been a little bit less to worry about than the inverted engine would have been.
That's
frankly,
absolutely true.
if you built it with an upright engine, you could just about take away almost all of the vertical CG issue. So.
Yeah, but I got tired of the cylinder sticking out the top of the nose way back in the 60s. Remember all those scale ships you'd see, and they'd have this big cylinder sticking out of the.
Well, of course, I would put an unthinkable power system in mine, and it would have all the big weight right in the battery, right in the wing. But
yeah.
Well, it's Floyd Carter. He built one.
Yeah,
and,
his is really pretty.
It's really, really pretty. But I don't I don't think he brought it to VSC. I don't recall. I've seen pictures of it, but never seen it for real.
Now I'm getting the itch to, positive reinforcement, side
I'm about to
mounted.
get mine down, dusted off and show y'all, but I probably have to wipe off about a 1/4 inch of dust.
Well,
Well-
side mounted, you could put a firewall in there,
Mhm.
I can't even remember how my motor's in it.
RC
It's getting
style
old, isn't it?
mount.
Sure, wasn't firewall mounted anyway. That thing was published right around the same time as the Mars, and that
I
had
think
the radio mount.
have that downstairs too.
Yeah,
Well, it was published like in '54, so it was after the Mars would have been.
yeah.
And
But
that's the reason.
I think I looked at the two of them, and I think the High Boy is a little bit smaller, but it to me it looks to me like they shared some thinking, I guess.
Yeah. Well, wasn't the high boy on the plans? Didn't it say Vico 19 on it?
Something like that. Yeah.
So I think the 20 or
I can go
25.
And go dig that thing up if you'd like, and show it to you.
I'd love to. And I'm sure Catherine would like
Yeah, I'd love to see it
It's
too.
a neat airplane.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right. While you
Really
do
neat
that, let
airplane.
me catch up on the chat. Just one message. And this is actually 2 messages, but there's Philly Skip. Anybody know Philly Skip? I met him at Brodax in 2016. He says, here, greetings from the infamous Philly Flyers, working on stuff for Brodax. Hope to see some of you guys there.
Hey,
So-
Skip, looking forward to seeing you there. I saw a little too much of Philly Skip the last time, and I'll just let it go at that.
I mean, his pants pulled out or what?
Yeah, Danny and I were judging, and Philly Skip wanted to show us his opinion of our judging. I think that's what.
Oh,
Let's just say some things can't be unseen and let it go at that. All right.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah,
he asked,
yeah.
he said, hopefully see some of us there. I know you're going, Dennis, and you're going to be there maybe one day at least, Gary, right?
Yeah,
Because
I'm
you have
planning
someone.
on, yeah.
How about you,
Super.
Phil?
I'm
You
down
going to go there?
Monday. I'm going
You
Monday
gonna
and Tuesday.
Going Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah,
All right.
really too.
I'm not going to be there, unfortunately. I wish I was.
Wish you
Well,
would
Hey, if
too.
you change your mind, I'll bring an SV11 for you.
That'd be wonderful.
Hey,
That's making me even think about doing it. So Jeff Riley says, I still like the trash can on the hood look. An upright McCoy in a smoothie is just cool. Thank you, Jeff. I was thinking about you, Jeff, but I didn't know how you phrase it. Trash can on the hood. Yeah. And then
I tell you what, no, total respect for Jeff, but I always thought the later smoothie with the inverted engine and the exhaust pipes on the side and everything like that, I like that smoothie better than the upright one. I don't know.
but I've always had a soft spot for the Thunderbird 1.
Yeah.
with the
Uh-huh.
upright.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
And cowled in. I like the speed cowl look.
Yeah.
I like the Jerseyan. Is it New Jerseyan or is it Jerseyan?
Yeah,
Jerseyan.
Jerseyan.
I like that plane.
John D'Ottavio's airplane. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really
That
love
one and the
that.
JD Falcon both were beautiful.
Mhm.
And both
Now,
fly
does that
great.
have upright motor too in the JD Falcon?
No,
No.
JD Falcon's inverted, but
But I like the upright in the Jerseyan. I mean,
Yeah.
I bought the I think I bought the plans for the Jerseyan, or I'm not sure if I got it from Tom Dixon or where I got it, but I have plans for the Jerseyan. And then I
Yeah.
have one more to catch up on. That's Philly Skip again. He says, are you guys aware that Van Jock's new Yates Stearman was destroyed recently when strong winds came and got underneath it and blew it across the top of the circle and went in full bore? I'm so sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, which
Oh.
one?
He says his new Yates Stearman. I imagine
Ah,
new would be new, right?
that's too bad.
That's too bad.
That is a shame. And that must have been something beyond his control because Van Jock's a good pilot.
yeah, he is. Very
Mhm.
good.
So
Danny's very good.
Philly Skip goes on to say, Danny, bet me I wouldn't moon the judges blame him. Not me. Ha ha ha.
Oh, boy. Getting on something back to airplanes before we get ourselves in
Yeah, I
trouble.
was just
Yeah.
gonna say, I
Thank you
volunteered
very
to
much.
judge again. I might have to I might have to make a request not to get on Skip's circle. That's all there is to
Well,
it.
if they got something Monday and Tuesday, I'll try to judge because I'm not going to take an airplane with me. It don't look like, except the one I'm taking to Lynn. But Dennis, the 2022 front end, electric front end,
Yeah,
is there a version of that that's larger?
no.
Shucks.
Larger
Okay.
which way? Longer, fatter? What do you mean?
Fatter,
Bigger
so I
motor.
can put it. I want to put a 3522 in it, 3515 in it.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be awfully snug in there.
Yeah,
See,
it
that's
would be too.
42
It'd be too snug.
millimeters, I think.
I'll just expand it by 5/16 and it'll be fine.
I don't think it would actually need that. I think if it had like an eighth of an inch, it would be big enough. I've been wondering about that, and I've been wondering if anybody would want it, but
Oh, I want
most
it.
of
I'm gonna build me one.
you know, that was one of the drivers behind that was John Paris was using there's the one profile conversion mount with a rear engine mount and everything like that. He used it on his electric Oriental, and he says, hey, this thing isn't long enough.
Yeah.
There was enough room. It was designed for the profile warbirds, and they all have a fairly short nose and everything like that. But he put it in the Oriental, which has a very long nose and stuff. And he had wasted space. He wanted to be able to push the battery back.
So
Here we
here's the
go.
high board. Let me make you big, Keith. 1 second. All right.
Oh, look at that.
Bob Palmer.
Look at
Any
that.
questions?
4 December 1952. Bob Palmer.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold it up for just a
629.97.
minute. Hold it up for just a minute.
Taking a picture of it.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
All right.
All right.
very
I'll
much.
put that
Proof
with my
positive.
other stuff, and I'll put that with my other stuff, and we'll have it. Because that is a good flying airplane. I mean, it really is. I've just got mine has. I mean, I know there's a lot of controversy on which motor. I guess I'm talking too loud. Everybody talks about which motor to put in that thing. I have an FP25. It works fine.
Ooh, there we
you
go.
go.
The
Oh,
image.
There it
man.
is.
Look at that.
I think this is Floyd Carter did this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good builder.
Oh,
That looks good.
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, the original plans, the only thing the people that I showed my plans to question was, does it have enough beef in the front to hold that wing down? Because it's got a clear canopy on it. But I just took the spar, at the spar, I put a piece of 1/8 off the spar and ran it straight down into the cabin, the back of it, ran it down into the cabin and attached it. I've never had a problem with a wing vibrating or anything else. The Boxcar Chief now, it rubber bands on. I have 4 bolts that holds mine on. I can fly it without the rubber bands, but I do put the rubber bands on it for just the fact it's supposed to have them. But
Yeah, I used to build some
both
old
great flying
timers for
planes.
RC, and I always bolted the wing on. I put the rubber bands on so it would look like it was period correct, but I
Mhm.
just never trusted them. It's just,
I don't either.
yeah.
I don't either. I had the last RC plane that I had with rubber bands
What's
was
the
a
nose
Falcon
on that
56.
look like? Can you show me
A
that?
Falcon 56, and the wing went that way and the fuselage went that way.
Yeah.
What's the nose construction like on that?
Okay, I'll show you the plans here just a minute. I've got a note here from Floyd Carter. He had an OS-25 in this thing, and I've seen this finished, but I don't have a picture of it. Now let's see. Here's from the magazine article. Does this show up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way I finished
Yeah.
mine, just like that.
Oh, nice.
See the side mount engine and the cheek
Okay.
cowls.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really slick.
Yeah.
It
And
really
you-
looks good and flies good too.
You can see that that plane is not that much above, much above the thrust line. That's what a normal low wing airplane is, below the thrust line. But here's the plans. Hopefully
All I
this-
had with mine was the fuel tank. I made a fuel tank myself and I botched it.
Does that show up?
Yep,
Yeah,
yes,
lift it
sir.
a little bit higher.
I've even got the instrument panel on that thing, guys. And if you just print that and put it
Nice.
on there, put a
Yeah,
piece
he's
of plastic
got
across.
the old
Looks
RC
great.
style. Yeah, it's not a beam mount, it is a firewall mount.
Mhm.
And I think, let's see,
I thought it showed the bell crank on the plans. It's got two sides.
It does.
it does. It
Okay.
shows
Okay.
there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay.
And I had Dan Winship make me one, and I either gave it away or I can't find it. You know,
Yeah.
the old carbon.
Put it someplace safe, Keith. So,
I must have, because it's not in my bell crank box. And but there's a nice carbon fiber bell crank like Winship you always did.
Well, I've got some, not my Carta, but it's like my Carta. It's the, what do they call it, brown stuff. It's linen,
phenolic.
Yeah.
phenolic.
Phenolic.
And it'd be easy to make that out of phenolic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one thing here I'd like to talk about. I'm going to take the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arm on the horizontal tail. Of course, this was Goyette's, Goyet, whatever his name was, how to pronounce it. It was his design. But he's definitely influenced by Bob Palmer, because that configuration platform on that horizontal tail is very similar to the Thunderbird and to the Powwow.
Yep.
And Smoothie, where you see a lot of leading edge taper or sweep,
Yeah.
Mhm.
where a lot of the area then in the horizontal tail, the fixed portion is towards the center of the area, is mostly in the center, not at the tip, because of that
Mhm.
slip forward tail. And I don't know, I've never had my own Bob Palmer airplane, but I've flown his Smoothie, I've flown a Thunderbird, and through a Powwow. I built one a long time ago, but that's another story. Anyway, and the Tough Flight kit, the Typhoon, had the Bob Palmer airplanes to me had a very distinctive feel. When you're doing the loops and the squares, it just felt like it was on rails. Every one of them felt that way. I flew in other people's airplanes, and they all had that feel that this thing, when you wanted to turn a corner, it was like on rails. And I asked Bob Palmer once if he thought that tail configuration had anything to do with that. And he kind of smiled a little bit and then shook his head and says, yeah, or yes. Now, I don't know whether he just agrees with things like that, but there's something there, I think.
Mhm. He was a sharp fella. I got to talk to him at VSC and at Brodak, and he was an incredibly sharp aerodynamicist as well, a model aerodynamicist, and just sharp. Period. He was a smart guy.
Do you know that he did for Lockheed, he did an RC version of the F-117, the first stealth fighter.
Wow.
And to prove that it would fly, and he launched it there. He told me about launching it and flying around. And he said half the people there didn't believe that it would fly.
Yeah.
But when Brodak had me do the plans for the Smoothie, and Bob wanted it to be the Smoothie that he wanted them to do as a kit. Because when the original kit was done, according to Bob, is when he had to go to England and Europe and Africa or whatever on that tour that he went on. And so he got the airfoil for the kitted Smoothie from the Lockheed boys. He asked what would be a good airfoil for turbulent air, and they said, well, we're working on this Hercules heavy lift, and then that's the airfoil we're using on the stab, the rear stab, horizontal stab should do the trick. So that's what that airfoil is from the Hercules. But when he built it, there were things about it he didn't like the way it flew. So according to him, what he did is he built another one identical to it, except he used a whole different airfoil. And that was the one that he wanted them to kit. And they to save wood. I don't know what the reason was, but he was still upset years later when he talked to me that they had used the old airfoil and that the kit was ready for in production when he got back. And they'd also sent the plans off to be published for the first one. So what he did is he painted these two planes up identical. According to him, he would put them in his car and they go over to Santa Ana to fly on, I don't know, the Saturdays or Sunday, probably Sundays. And he'd get out, he said he'd get out, and if it was windy, he'd take out the first one with the windy airfoil. Not windy Nowski, but the pointed airfoil.
Yeah.
And if it was nice and calm, he'd take out the one with the more normal airfoil on it. And apparently very few people knew about that. But that's why the one that Brodak is kitting has this thicker, more normal airfoil on it. I got called on that a couple of times by people at contests, how come that smoothie's got that thick airfoil on it? So I tell them the story. And, it was a game changer because the second one actually flies better in almost all conditions except really windy, gusty.
That's
Hey,
interesting.
got a
Didn't know
note.
about that.
I've got a note here from Floyd Carter. He wrote this in December 2008. He says, Bob Palmer was not happy that the lead outs were in the wing, well above the model CLA. His caution about flying crooked was reason for me to place it safe and use lots of wingtip weight just in case. I guess that was a correct fix because I didn't notice much outboard wing high on upright or outboard wing low on inverted. Still, it isn't perfect and would probably benefit from central lead outs and a wing guide. So that's from somebody who actually built one and flew it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting comments. Now, I brought up this article that Dick Mathis wrote on his profile Satabria. I don't know if you remember seeing this thing published in Flying Models in April '73. Here's a picture of it.
Make it big here. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I remember that model.
And he made comments. I don't want to take the time to find the words in here, but said that it didn't really fly that much different than a typical stunt ship. I've got the plans here, just a second.
Mike Garman built a J3, and then one of the guys, I can't remember who exactly, built that plane. And they both flew very similar. And they said that they flew like a regular stunt ship.
Yeah, I've got that article too. Let me go chase it down. But here's the plans. There it shows. Oops. There
Nice airfoil.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I'd like to build that one.
Yeah,
That's
looks
nice.
nice.
And no flaps, so you don't have to make a funny belt crank.
yeah, straight wing. And it'd be a
Look how
simple.
high the doggone elevator is. That's sharp. Wow.
That's a nice looking
I like that.
profile.
Yeah,
You know,
I like
that'd be a fun entry in profile in one
I
of the
would.
Sure
Yeah.
would. Hey, I was able to find the picture of what's his Floyd Carter's airplane on that's in Stunthangar. If you can, Charles, if you can let me share it,
All right.
might save Keith some more digging there.
What do you?
Where am
There we
I?
go.
All right, is it up?
Oh, yeah.
You're full screen, but it's not up yet.
All right. I think oh, come on now, Dennis. Gotta go share screen. And there. Share.
Coming up.
Something's coming up. There it is.
There it is.
Oh, nice colors.
That's beautiful.
Oh, man, I like that.
Yeah, but see the inverted engine instead of the side mount, like was shown in the plans.
Mm-hmm.
Those colors just really pop off each other. Reminds
Mhm.
me of
Okay,
something.
meat
Reminds me of a Bearcat some guy out west used to fly. But,
Yeah, the Gulf Hawk 4.
yeah.
I don't know who
Fourth.
whatever happened to that guy. He
He
just
crashed it and
disappeared.
died.
He
He
crashed.
crashed it. He crashed it and died.
Oh,
Let me
He
interrupt for a
crashed.
second. Let me just say good night to Philly Skip. Good night, Philly Skip. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. I'll read
Really,
your
yeah,
comments.
see you in
when
3 weeks.
I get a chance to read your comments. I'll let the group know what you typed in the chat box. But thank you for coming in.
and Floyd said he thought it'd be a little better with the lead outs a little lower and the bell crank lower as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
go ahead and put the bell crank in the middle of the fuselage, and that would probably, other than aesthetics, but I don't know how that would do as far as old time rules are concerned or not. But to me, adjustable lead outs, and that's adjusting lead outs to make it fly better. I think that's legal. Should
Well, I
be.
like the idea of side mounted with the cheeks on it.
I
Yeah,
do
that would
too. That's what
That
mine
would
is.
raise the vertical CG,
Mhm.
lighter
Yeah.
wheels.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Might go.
I've got that article somewhere that shows those two airplanes, the Piper or something, and the Highboy.
Well, didn't Don Hutchinson do a high wing as well?
Yeah, he did a Cub too, didn't he?
I think so.
I
He
think
did the Cub, the observation version.
Yeah, of course,
The
his
L-19
was
Bird Dog.
it was a profile, and I believe he did have the central bell crank in
Yeah.
the line guide.
I've got a thumb drive that has all of his plans on it. Have you ever seen that?
I
No, sir.
have not.
It's
Oh
it's
yeah, what the heck am I saying? I got one of those.
Jack, will you please?
Hmm. Where am I again?
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
That shading effect behind the purple and white line there, is that just because of the angle of the camera?
Yeah,
or
that's
was
just
that
a light.
yeah, okay.
That's a simple. I think it's blue. It's not purple.
Yeah, that's pretty much Palmer's colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Seemed like it was Corsair blue.
yeah.
That is awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
I've
Mhm.
never
It
seen
actually
one
looks
show up.
better in person, but that
I've
thing
ne-
is really nice in person. It really looks sharp.
I don't
Well,
think I
sure.
ever saw one show up at VSC.
Hmm.
I've never even seen a high wing stunter before. I think it's just something
Yeah.
to behold.
Me
I
neither.
think he had it at V. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I might have seen that at. I went out to see my brother and went to a contest out there one time that wasn't VSC. So I don't know. I know I've seen
There
it
we
one time.
go.
I've got some pictures of it.
Well, that is interesting.
Jack, get down.
I always liked the Mars also.
Yeah.
Kind of an
Yeah.
air coupe, you know.
There
Yeah.
was a guy came to VSC with a Mars and he was trying to get it to run. And I got over and tried to help him, and I just couldn't fly the boxcar as windy as it was that day. And I was trying to help him with this Mars, and it would run, but it would scream. And I finally asked him, how much time did you put on that motor on the bench? On the bench. I took it out of the box, put it in the airplane. Oh, good grief. Wasn't broke in at all.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, really.
I remember that guy. He was
Yeah.
kind of a little bit, I wouldn't say weird, but he was different.
Yeah, he definitely marched to a different beat.
Didn't
I
he have
thought,
a
you know-
4-stroke on that airplane? On that
No,
Mars?
it was 2-stroke on that Mars, but it was all cowled in. I mean, it was cowled in real tight. It didn't have any room for air at all.
Oh boy.
And he hadn't broke the thing in either. And he's out there trying to find some 15% nitro, thinking that's going to make it. Some of the guys were flying 15% in their L&J Fox 35s. So he figured
Wow.
he'd put some 15% in a brand new OS 25. I thought, dude, you need to get that thing over somewhere and take the cowl off of it, run 3 or 4 tanks of fuel through it at least. Just let it run. Because it's putting black crap out. So that motor's still tight. I don't know if he ever got to fly it or not. He didn't that day.
No, I don't recall. if he did, that he crashed it, if I remember.
Yeah, because I don't even know that the guy could fly. He didn't know much about it at all.
He was
All
he
right.
was a recent convert.
Yeah, I was trying to
that?
help him, but he just did not seem to want to listen to anybody. He knew
Was
it, and that was the end of that.
Hey, Dennis, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Remember, we had a couple notes going back and forth last couple.
Yeah, I gave you some bad advice too, I'm afraid. But yeah, okay.
Wow.
I seem to remember I think I might have a plan for an airplane like that, a donut. If I can, I'll find it and send it to you. What I want to see is I want to see the coffee cup you build to dip that thing into.
It will be huge. It's 36 inches in diameter,
Yeah.
Oh me,
over 800 square inches.
good grief.
Wow. I haven't got any. I don't
That's
have
old
any
time legal.
It would be, yeah. This was, this is an Air Trails sketch page, July 52.
Wow.
Good gracious.
Remember when I can't remember his name now, but he built that flying shoe heel looking thing, straight leading edge and a kind of a lip or a round going back, and it had a jointed elevator on it.
Rated elevator thing, yeah.
Yeah, and it would act like a flap does. It changed the pitch angle before it would make a turn.
It didn't fly very well.
No,
Mm-hmm.
that was for Mechanics Illustrated, 1951, I
Oh
believe.
my goodness.
Oh,
Did Charlie Bruce's Star airplanes fly at all?
Yeah,
He had
never
one
seen it fly.
that one time, and the picture of it's in the air. I don't remember seeing it do anything. I just saw a picture of it. I don't remember seeing it fly.
Yeah, I've seen a picture of it in the air, but it doesn't look like, D Hill sent me a copy of the plans to look over and stuff. I had to send them back. But I always thought, there isn't a good airfoil anywhere on that airplane, and it doesn't look, it had to look spectacular in the air, but it doesn't look like it would fly very well. Like it would take an awful lot to make that thing fly well. But
He was, what's his name? He was with Mary Gephardt.
That's it. He was her partner.
Yeah, what's his name, John?
That's it. I can't remember his name. I can see him.
You talking about
He had a
Lucky?
British accent, and he knew
Not
every
Lucky,
minute
but,
detail about every plane that was ever built.
Yeah. Nice guy.
He was a nice guy. It surprised me when he died. Just seemed awful sudden.
That was Lucky, wasn't it? Lucky
No.
Pyatt?
No.
Lucky was the one that surprised me. When I talked to him one week, and a week later he was gone.
Oh, he didn't surprise us. He had cancer, skin cancer.
Oh, I didn't know. He didn't. I just
Yeah,
talked to him on the phone.
He had brain cancer, and
Brain cancer.
boy.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
well, he sure never let on. He was a tough character. He was like the guy that designed the Tiyasaki was like that. He came out to the field one day, and he came out there to see my new Tiyasaki fly, which he had promised me one. And he was building every one of them, and they were all built to his specifications, quote unquote. All of a sudden, he told me, bring a bunch of balls and come over to the house. So I went over to the house, and I started using his templates, and I cut out all the parts, and he looked over my shoulder, and I built a Tiyasaki. I've got the only one that I know of the original plane that Clayton didn't build, and I couldn't figure out what's going on. Well, Clayton came to the field that next Saturday to watch it fly its first flights, and Kent Tyser was there, and Kent had flown about every iteration of the Tiyasaki. He flew mine. He said, that's the best flying one yet. Well, I put the lines lower in the wing. It didn't need a trim tab. So anyway, Clayton was there, but I said, Clayton, go ahead and fly it. No. None of us knew Clayton had a kidney removed earlier that week. And 3 months later, he was gone.
Wow.
But he was a tough character and private character. He did not want any of us. His wife said he thought it would bother us if we knew. Bother us? I don't know, but he was an incredible individual. He just talk about a tough nut to crack. Clayton was a tough nut, but man, he loved combat. He and Mike would have been right together, buddy. I'm telling you, Clayton used to have these juice can fuel tanks he put on the plane. And to this day, when we get somebody gets a bad overrun at the field, you'll hear somebody holler, "All right, Clayton." he would get overrun so bad, golly. He didn't know how to partially fill a tank. If that sucker would hold 4 ounces, it got 4 ounces. But anyway, he was a neat guy.
I'm thinking Gebhardt's partner, Harris or something like that.
That's not it either.
I can't think. I remember her having somebody at the Nats, and I remember having somebody at VSC, because she was one of the judges when I flew those 14-second loops. Boxcar went up and it just hung there and just barely got up, and then boom. The needle, I had set the needle and put a piece of fuel tubing behind it. Well, it worked great here, but in Tucson, I didn't have time to practice fly, and I just went out and flew, and the fuel tubing out there, I had to run the needle in so far to get the RPM I wanted. It backed the needle back out. So anyway, it's one of those things. But Mary came up to me and she said, "Those were some impressive loops. I'm surprised you kept it in the air." I said, "Yeah, but I didn't finish the pattern." She said, "Well, you can't win them all. But the one thing about VSC, if you throw away a pattern, you might as well hang it up. You can't do that."
Let me say hi to Mark Lumen. Hey, Mark, thanks for coming in.
Hey guys.
Mark, where are you, buddy?
Well, I'm back home for a short bit. Yeah.
One of these times when you're going to be home, you need to tell us so Tran and I can try to schedule a trip down to see you.
I talked to him earlier today, and I think that'll be good. Yeah. It's still far and few between every day. Like the wind will pick up or something will happen, but
Oh God, it's raining here too much.
I got the maiden flight in on the Hellcat yesterday. So
how'd it do?
I am just amazed.
Good deal.
Yeah,
Good deal.
I spent a lot of time on the bench trim and just second guessing myself, and then do it again and do it again, and then find something little. And first flight, I just launched a little rich. Yeah, it's got the F40 on it. Launched a little rich and had about a 6-second lap time. Yeah. But
A little roach, yeah.
it was a little slow, but I was just, like I said, I was very impressed. I think the importance, especially with new people like me. If I could say anything to anybody, that spend the time on the bench. Yeah. It took off. The wings were level. The CG was great. The line tension was just, really nice. On the second flight, I actually put it where it should be. Yeah. Got about a 5.3, 5.2, 5.3 lap time out of it, and
Nice.
it just felt like a great airplane in my hand.
Good deal.
Good deal. I got a short little video. I won't bore you with the whole thing if you guys want to.
I'd love to see it.
Put it on. Put it up.
Yeah. Just tell everybody, Mark, to spend time at the bench, along with on the bench.
This is true, depending on who's in there with you.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I don't think I want to hear about that.
No, I'm talking about, you said spend the time on the bench and here at the bench.
At the bench. I got you.
I still think that's a story for another time.
Well, while you bring up that video, let me just say something real quick. This is a message to you, Keith. From Jim Lynch. He says, "Tell Keith that I built and flew the Mathis Citabria. Thank you, gentlemen. And looked and flew great." Jim Lynch.
Yeah.
All right.
Jim Lynch,
Jim Lynch.
he knows airplanes. He says
Jim
it's
Lynch
good.
could fly a brick.
That's pretty doggone compelling. So,
But if he built it, I bet
Here's
it was
the video.
beautiful.
all that too.
Yeah. Now, which
Yeah.
one is this, Mark?
That's the Hellcat, if I can ever get it to come up here.
This your backyard, Mark?
Oh, it's up now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Duh.
your backyard.
Lord,
Sort of.
Sort of your backyard.
how
Wow.
long does it take to mow that? Good grief.
Well, about a day. This is
I
not
believe
the
it.
one.
Yeah.
Well, this is the second half. I won't bore you guys with all. Well, hang on a second. That might not. That's just a picture.
Was that a real airport?
No, that's a polo field.
Oh, polo field.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Let me.
I can't wait to fly on that polo field. That
Yeah, it
intrigues
looks
me every time I
beautiful.
see it.
Well, I tell you the make sure that you got to have pantyhose over the inlet. That it gets cut about once every other day. Yeah.
I fly electric, so I ain't worried about it.
Exactly.
Wow.
I'm
Once
gonna fly
every
electric
other
down
day?
there.
Wow.
And
No,
the clippings are so small that, originally some of the issues I was having, come to find out, it was a little bit of ingestion through the inlet, and also in the Uniflow. I'd flush my tank out and I would see in my filter, I'm like, where's all this trash coming from? Yeah.
I'll tell you
And
what,
then-
I ingested into electric motor.
Yeah.
yeah, I have
Go
too.
right in the front. Yeah.
Yeah,
too.
and it made the thing squeal. I mean, you gotta,
Yeah.
I don't know how you do pantyhose for that. I guess you can make
No.
something to go around it.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you,
this
something
was
else you can do with pantyhose.
Yeah.
We were in Florida and couldn't get our runs long enough, and didn't have enough fuel to get a full pattern in. Put 3 layers of pantyhose over the Venturi, and it ran. It made it.
I'll be there.
Right.
Yeah, we know
So
now.
it works.
Yeah. Well, this is the second flight. The first flight, like I say, was it was a long, boring video of a bunch of level laps doing like 6-second turns. So
I don't see the video though.
Yeah, you gotta put the video back up, Mark.
yeah. Hang on.
We can hear it.
Motor sounds good.
Yeah, it's about being smarter than the equipment, and sometimes.
This is the guy that flies jets all over the world.
Yeah. I can. Okay, what about now?
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got you now.
Okay. Yeah, like I say,
Oh, that thing's pretty.
this was the second flight, and like I say, it's first flight was a little rich, but I was just I was just amazed with the trim, because you hear people talk about it, and ranting and raving about bench trim and doing this and doing that, and then when you finally take your time and do it, you go, I get it. Yeah. Okay, so.
Oh, nice.
Nice takeoff.
What motor is that, Mark?
That's a FP40.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, I've
You had work done to that motor?
Sorry.
Have you had work done to that?
It's got, I think, one of Jim's Venturis. But I guessed at the tank height, right? The inverted sound is just as good. So
yeah, it sounds good.
I don't know if I probably won't bore you with the whole thing, but
Questions on how to show
Looks
video.
very nice. It's really nice.
and I kept trying to. I put the camera on the golf cart and tilted it up a little bit, and I was like, well, I can almost see the whole thing, but it's like miniature.
It looks like it turns very well and smooth.
like I say, that's just the first half. But yeah, I was real happy with the bench trim, and just like I say, it's good to have I'll show you a little bit of the second half if everybody's not too bored.
No, let's see it.
Okay, now it's not up, right?
No.
No, it's not
No.
us.
Okay. I think
Hey,
got it.
Howard, thanks for coming in, Howard.
Hi.
Hey, Howard, good to see you, buddy.
Howard's in the house.
We're just showing you how big this backyard is.
Hi, Howard.
Hi.
You could take a listen here on how to build.
I didn't want to get too crazy, because like I say, the second flight, I didn't want to make it
Absolutely,
balsa.
Mark. You want to take it easy on your new plane.
Sorry.
I don't blame you. I'm very conservative with a new airplane.
Yeah, and I was trying to get lap times, and trying to get right in front of the camera so that I could see the wings were level. And finally got a couple that I could freeze it and see. When you're flying by yourself, it's tough to see all the little nuances.
It runs the same upright and inverted, or sure sounds like it does.
Yeah, I was happy with that tank, and I built the tank with the Uniflow, and made one height adjustment, and for lack of words, guessed right,
There you go. How much nitro you got in that? 10 or 5?
That's 10, but it's for our, the fuel in South Carolina that you told me about.
Yes, sir.
The red, what is it?
Red Max.
Red Max, or something like that.
Yeah, that's it. Red Max.
It's the Red Max, but I castered it up pretty good. I was flying the other Enya on just I had like it was like, I think it was 17% synthetic, and then the rest was caster up to about 22. And with the Enya, I just saw some signs of heat,
Yeah.
So I castered it up, and this is probably 26 to 27% total, with a lot of caster. But the engine seemed to like it. Other than rags and alcohol are much cheaper than a new engine.
Yeah.
Well,
I discovered today that a Super Tiger 51 will run on 0 nitro.
Really?
I have 4 gallons of 0 nitro that I got to go in my Stalker, but it's got caster in it. It's 18% oil, but it's half caster, half synthetic. So after everybody telling me don't run caster in the Stalker, I don't. So I thought, well, what am I going to do with all this fuel? So I went out today totally not intending to do this, but I just picked up a gallon of fuel and put it in my box, threw the towel on top of it, went out. And I got out there and realized once I got out there, that's the gallon of 0. The stuff marked 5% that's actually 0. And I got one of the guys to smell it because I can't smell. And Tommy said, no, there's no nitro in that. So, but anyway, 7,800, 3 and an 1/8 ounces will get Tiger 51 with a 12.5 rev up on it through a pattern on a Pathfinder.
Very
and it
nice.
worked.
Wow.
Had plenty of power everywhere.
Isn't that awesome?
That was
What
a
was the
nice landing,
temperature?
Mark. You did a good job.
That was a nice landing.
Yeah.
and I put it on I'm taking Dennis's advice, on line length, and I think me and Dennis was talking one point about line lengths for the Vector and stuff like that, and I said, it's a pretty large airplane, so just let me get it out there a little bit, so I'm about 63 and a little bit, on 18s. I don't know if it might be a little heavy for that. It's pretty light, but
18s on an FP40.
Well, like I say, it was a suggestion, because of I don't know why. It just, I just had the line. They seem a little draggy,
Yeah, they would be.
There would be.
FP40. All you need on FP40 is probably 63 feet, probably fine, but 015s are all you need.
Yeah,
And
I
once you-
got plenty of lines, you know, like I say, it was one of those things, I just wanted to get it out there and get it flying. And
Yeah, that's
you
what
know,
I
of
did.
course, what happens when you want to make a maiden flight, there's always some surgery, right? There's
Yeah.
always something, you know? And I was putting my tip weight in. I went in with like an ounce and a quarter tip weight. I wanted to start out heavy, yeah. And
Yeah.
I couldn't get it to, and Steve, we were talking about this one time too, about finding the hole, you know, with the holes and all of the lead.
Yeah.
I
Well,
messed with
it's easy to find. It's easy if you stick them on there, but then you can't get it down in there. And then once you got it in there, you can't find the hole. And it's like,
I
you know,
messed with
how hard can this be? And an hour later, you're like, yeah, it's real hard.
Yeah, what is the solution for that? Anybody?
I
know
get,
that,
yeah, I got the solution.
what's that?
I ended up I had some foam and I was going to cushion it up also. And I used a little tape, you know, got it all centered up, you know, and got the foam in there and pressed it down. And the screw, the brain's not with it today. It was all going all the way to the bottom and it's not tightening. It's not tightening. What the hell? Yeah. So I picked the airplane up. Here's something going tick, 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 tick.
Oh,
No.
you pushed out the nut.
Oh,
I
You
pushed
pushed
out
the
the blind
blind nut through?
yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
damn the bad
so
luck.
break out the razor blade and opened up the top of it and you know got it put back in. And then right now I'm running with some packing tape over the top of it until
Over the hole.
I got some time to fly and you know I don't want to take the time to repair it.
I tell you what I do for that is on all my blind nuts now for my weight boxes, I take another little teeny piece of plywood
Uh-huh.
and with a
Back
big
it.
drill and relieve it and then drill a hole in that, stick it over and glue that over that because
Blind
I've
nut.
had that happen so many times and I'm like, you know, that little piece of plywood can't weigh that much and
Right.
it doesn't really matter because you're putting lead in that box anyway.
Right, right.
yeah.
You don't want to save weight on your weight box.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Before I close it up, I'll probably do that, you know.
So how do you find that hole? Have Naomi do it for you, Len?
Oh, brother. I should have known you'd come up with something like that. But anyhow, what I do is I don't push the bolt through the pieces of lead. What I do is I take sticky leads and I stick them to each side of the box and then stick the bolt down through the center through a piece of foam, which
Yeah.
compresses the weights to the outside of the box all the way around.
Okay,
Put it right into the hole.
That makes sense.
all right.
I
That's
see.
good.
Another guy, he put
I use another piece of foam at the top, about a quarter-inch thick, and I make it the size of the entire box, like the inside of the entire box. And when I press it down, compress it down, then the weights can't come up against the lid and they can't go anywhere, even if they did come loose in there. And then I just tighten the bolt up right through the middle. It works fine.
I seen a guy take it was a big thimble, I guess you call them, you know, it's like a piece of copper with a flared bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he put that over the hole, glued that down so that when the bolt's long, he can, then it directs it right into the hole. You know, but I seen that.
Definitely a good
because-
idea.
So the hole in the weights fit over, I mean, around or the weights go over that funnel, right? Over that eyelet.
Well, yeah, that's the way he did mine. I do like Len says. I stack them in the sides.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I do. Yeah, I don't try to
so
put
that
it through the
center's
hole.
open anyway.
Exactly.
Now I
As
heard
soon as you
that's-
have to try and put them through all those weights and try to line it up, you can count on spending an hour trying to do it because
Well,
it isn't going to
the
happen.
reason I did it that way is that trying to drill holes in a piece of lead. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You can't get a sharp enough bit.
Yeah. You have to actually punch the lead. You can't take the time to drill through it. It gets too hot. So you have to kind of really come down quick. And it's a combination of punching through the lead.
Yeah.
But
If
yeah,
you
I
took the
drill, it'll
laser-
just get hot and then it won't go anywhere.
Since
took
I
the
got
lead
the
out in
wheel
order to
weights
put
now,
out.
I just
Hold
glue them on the sides,
Okay.
you
Now
know.
took the
Sparky
lazy-
actually puts a funnel in the bottom of his box so that you can find the blind nut. So the bottom of the box has a funnel shape to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that works. Sure.
And I have one thing else to add. This is by Jim Lynch. He says, Charles, I enjoyed the show on Stunt New Tune with Dean and Bob, and Keith's comments on the rules was very interesting and informative. Jim Lynch. Well, you're most welcome, Jim. I'm glad. I think we all were pretty excited about that show. So thank you very much for your comments. And if you know anybody who's interested, invite them to come on in. We always could use some other opinions, other viewpoints, other people. It's all good.
I want
Hey,
Jim to come in
I got it.
and join us because I want to pick his brain on finishing. The man can finish like, wow.
Well,
He's
Jim's
amazing.
is on here now, Phil.
But Keith's sitting there and he's pretty darn good finisher himself.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, the FW190 was gorgeous. That old timer, the 56, I've forgotten what it's called. The Madman 56 is a work of art. Everything. I've never seen him fly a dog. He's always got a great looking airplane.
I got a couple questions for everybody here and whatever.
Go for it, Steve.
Anyone have a Pache airbrush?
Yes, sir.
All right, the little, the button deal that you use.
Yeah, push down and then pull back.
Right down in the bottom of that, there's a little wire or thing, I guess, that must go through like a pin that goes through that plunger.
Uh-huh.
That fell out of mine. How do you get it back in that plunger?
Oh, that's kind of like the Jesus screw on a carburetor. I don't really know.
Does the bottom part screw out of that airbrush?
The one that Dave had one that was similar to that, and so what happened with his, it kept sticking. You pull down and push the button and it wouldn't release. Well, I got the bright idea. I said, well, I'm either going to fix it or I'm going to have to buy him a new airbrush. So I started taking things apart, and anything that would unscrew, I unscrewed it. Yeah.
So that bottom post underneath it will unscrew out of there.
I can't remember.
At least
I'll
on
take
this
it apart
one,
tomorrow and see, but I don't know.
At least it did on this one, and I was able to unscrew it, and then you could see it was just I guess it's some
Clogged up.
Yeah, just some dirt, trash, or whatever got in there. So I'm sure that if
I thought it unscrewed, but I grabbed it with a pair of pliers, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to wreck it.
No, because it won't come out of the top. I'm trying to remember.
Hey, Al, thanks for coming in.
I had to unscrew something on the bottom. Yeah.
It seems like there's a keeper.
Because the button has the the pin that goes in from the back, right?
Yeah, through the fork. There's like a fork, and then the pin goes through it, and it must hook into that plunger somehow.
Well, the plunger itself on the bottom of that plunger is that's what allows the air in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So if
that's air and that's
how did it fall out though? That's weird. It fell out of the top.
I'll go get it and show you. Yeah, it's
did just the button fall off?
No, the whole rod came up out of there, and I got
the keeper came out somehow. He's lost.
And I got the little pin that went across. I found that down in there, but it just came out with something. I don't know.
Back. I know
it must have broken.
I know.
While he's doing that, let me pass on a message to Keith. Keith, you have quite a bit of fans, Keith. Gordon Delaney says, I just want to say hi to my old friend, Keith. Long time no see, Gordy.
Yeah, Gordy, it's been too long. We need to get together. Hope you're feeling okay. Okay, I got something. I was talked about J.C. Yates and Bob Palmer.
Let me make it big real quick, and
Oh my goodness.
Hang on. There we go. Oh, now who's in the picture there?
The one on the right is Palmer, one on the left, and that's with a large madman, and then Yates is on the other side holding normal madman.
Oh, very cool.
And that picture is what Don Hutchinson used to base the large madman plans he drew up. There's more to the story than that, but I won't get into that.
A lot of
Keith, what
hardware
did
there,
they-
I see. A lot of
Keith, what
hardware.
they do? Have a contest every other week?
Darn near.
Yeah.
That's out in Southern California, and they flew a lot. Those two
Golly.
Yeah,
guys,
I knew a gentleman who said he competed in just 1 year, 23 contests in California.
Yeah.
Wow.
California, 23 in 1 year.
You know,
Yeah.
we were talking about Bob Palmer's gloved hand, his right-handed. Most pictures you see of him, you'll never see his right hand. It's behind the wing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, you know, when you saw him at Brodak, he kept his right hand in his pocket most of the time.
yeah. And one thing I remember, J.C. Yates never flew at the Nats, but George Aldridge watched him fly, I guess, several times. And he said he's probably one of the better pilots he's ever seen. And he went to a contest. You had to beat J.C. Yates before you'd win a contest.
Wow.
Didn't he like to fly close to 100 miles an hour, and he'd do his pullouts, and he'd pull out inverted just inches above the ground?
Yeah, he did that. According to several people, Palmer would talk about that, and Aldridge would talk about that.
Yeah. Those days you did those daredevil stunts, you got scored better.
Well, he didn't get the nickname Madman by flying 6 to 8 feet in 5-second laps. Let's put it that
That's
way.
for sure.
All right.
Thank you very much, Keith. Appreciate it. That's awesome.
Got something else?
Okay.
You don't really want to get me started. I've got 2 books on potential classic and old time airplanes, but they haven't been built. But somebody ought to do this.
Oh, the Polish fighter.
Oh my God.
No, it's not a Polish fighter. This is just a free design. It's published in Model Airplane News in 1943. Plan
Really?
show, yeah,
Hmm.
plan show
That's
Velcro.
cool.
And it's only about 350 squares and very hard to build light and semi-symmetrical airfoil, but it deserves to be built. Just an absolutely gorgeous little airplane, I think. Plans,
Is that a gold wing kind of thing or
Yeah.
not?
it is a gull wing.
Okay.
And
Golly.
plans were done by a guy named Peter Westberg. And these things are like engineering drawings. Peter Westberg did all sorts of 3D drawings of full-scale airplanes that Bill Northrop published in Model Builder over the years. In fact, books of 3D Westberg did, and they're immaculate. And these plans in this Model Airplane News 1943 are several pages long. I won't even try to show, but
That's what I was born.
it'd be a pretty little airplane to build.
Did that use your favorite control system on it instead of showing the bell crank?
No, it actually shows. Yeah, it actually shows a bell crank.
My goodness.
Oh.
So this was in 43. I don't know whether all the rigmarole with Walker was going on after that or what. I don't know.
Probably after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it is a pretty little airplane. I thought it was a Polish fighter when I first saw it.
Certainly influenced or
Yeah.
shaded by that. So
Yeah.
One or the other, yeah.
there's another one. I can't remember the designer. It was called the Peregrine.
Parakeet?
Looking up things
No,
too.
Peregrine. I think it was. It was a
Peregrine.
gull-wing,
Peregrine, yeah.
a gull-wing airplane around 500 squares. It is not old-time era, but it would be it'd be a cute little airplane to build, but it was certainly not competitive in classics or anything like that. So it would be hard to build it for that. But it's one of those things where it deserves to be built. Deserves
Yeah.
to be seen again.
Can you make me big now, Charles?
All right.
Yeah, you're big.
Hang on. You are
You're a
big
giant in
now.
my eyes, Steve. Oh, holy mackerel.
See that little pin?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what came out.
Oh,
And I'm wondering if this part here, I see a little, like a parting line there. If
Yeah.
that screws out of there. Because that's the only way I can think of to get that pin back through that button down in there.
I'll
Doesn't
take mine
fall
apart
through the
tomorrow and
back,
take a look
does
at
it?
it, Steve. I don't know. I can't remember.
You don't drop it in through the back, do you?
I thought, that's what I thought.
No, it goes down through the top. Like that, and then
And
this
then something
piece-
goes in, the needle goes in from the front.
that's the spring to keep, to push it back forward and stuff.
And that goes in through the front, and pushes back through it, comes back to it or through it.
Yeah, that goes in like this. But if I hold it there, I can find that thing and push down on it. But once the thing fell out on the table, it's like, well, what happened to this? Maybe I can get on and get some videos. Somebody might.
Look up Pache brushes online. There's a teardown drawing there.
Ask Sparky.
The tear down part was easy.
Yeah, putting it back together is the hard
Putting
part.
it back together, that's always a problem. You know who knows a lot about airbrushes is Jeff Riley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
maybe
Jeff,
he'll
if
know.
you would
He
come
gets
in,
that.
Jeff, Steve could use your help.
Steve could use some help.
Did Mike get on tonight at all yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, because I got a hold of Al because we got a guy that's selling stuff and he's got a bunch of Super Tiger combat motors with APC piston and liners and special stuff made for them.
I have
Wow.
a comment from Jeff Riley. It says, Steve, the needle holds the plunger down.
That pushes the plunger down, Jeff? Yeah, I don't know. I can't balance it on top of that plunger.
That goes down in there, and that pin that goes in from the front goes, I thought it went through it.
Goes through that plunger is what I think too.
Well, it does.
I'll have to. But yeah, I mean, to try to get that little rod on top of it, I can do it, but it falls off and stuff. I mean, it must go through there and hook it because I couldn't figure out why it was out of there. And now it doesn't work.
I'll look tomorrow and try to give you a call. If I can
The
find it,
other
I'll give
thing
you a call.
was, does anyone know what size engine was in a stiletto?
Which one? The OS 35S or the Super Tiger 46 or the KNB 40?
I
He
don't
started
know.
out, the original little small plane was an OS 35S. Then when he came out with a 700 and later the 660, that was a Super Tiger 46 for several years. Then he got up with Stan Powell and they did the KNB 40 that was a high revving. It had a tune pipe run. It was just way ahead of its time. It was a KNB 40 and it ran 4-pitch props and really revved, but it was a KNB 40. But
Okay,
Stan
because
was
this
buying,
looks like a pretty good size airplane, and
oh, it
I'm
is.
like, that would, to me, that's like a 60 size.
It
Or
is. My Stiletto 660, if I ever finish it, has a Tiger 60 in it. But now I'm anxious. I'm going to try to go down to Atlanta here before long. And Randy Smith owns the last Stiletto, the one that Les won the Worlds with and retired. He won the Worlds and then quit flying. He never flew again. And he brought it home and hung it in the front of Orange Blossom Hobbies in the window. I don't know how long it hung there, but it hung there until a lamp fell on it, and he took it home, fixed it, and brought it back and hung it back. But then Orange Blossom, I don't know whether it went out of business or what happened, but anyway, he took the plane home and offered it for sale, and Randy ended up with it. I'm going
Okay.
down and take a look at it. It's actually a 640 instead of a 660.
Okay, because
Les won the world 3 times.
Oh yeah, no, twice with a Tiger. Well, once at least with a Tiger 46. I can't remember what the second was. Third one was with a 640 with a Stan Powell 40 in it.
Oh.
And he's one of my favorite sticks. I love to watch him. When I met Keith I had already met Keith in Winston-Salem, but I went down to Atlanta for the World Championship, World Team Trials, and Les was there, and he amazed me. If he made a mistake, he'd make that same mistake every flight all day long. He's like a machine.
What a machine. Yeah.
But the next day, when it counted, he didn't make that mistake. Of course, he didn't have to qualify that year. He was reigning world champion, so he just flew. But that's the worlds that Bob Hunt won, but 78. But I'm telling you what, Keith can tell you he was a heck of a pilot.
No, people a lot of times over the years had asked me who's the best I ever saw. Well, until the current crop of these guys flying the piped engines, and they've got them all worked out, and now then the electrics. There's a handful of guys that really fly the pattern better than what Les. When Les came out to the circle, you're going to see a show.
Yeah.
And he wasn't flamboyant. Yeah, he had the white shirt on with the stars on it and all that, but he's very deliberate. And when that airplane, I mean, it was mesmerizing. Watch him fly the pattern.
Yeah, he had his act together like nobody. I mean, he was amazing.
Yeah, it looked so easy and effortless, and you had to really look to see where something was wrong. It was truly amazing. The only person before then that came close was Bart Klipinski, but in my mind, Dick Mathis could fly really well, but boy, he could really fly that stiletto. It was just a sight to behold.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
I've always thought he was the best I'd ever seen, but he was, not to take anything away from about 6 others that you're in the group, but Les, I thought, had it together just every way. He just amazed me when he showed up. He was just so together and just so professional about everything, and he just put on a heck of a show.
You know, it's got a LA 46 in it, and I'm like, man, that just doesn't seem like enough motor.
In what?
In that stiletto.
Not enough.
660? No, that's not enough.
Not
motor.
nearly enough motor.
No.
I have a Tiger 51 in mine, and it's just enough motor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did really well with mine over the years, but I'll tell you, I always wished I had just a little more motor with it in it.
Yeah, I put a 60 in mine, but
It should be perfect.
yeah, I'll tell you that.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that's what he said. Well, he used to run a 46 in it, so a 47 should be fine. But it's like,
well, there's 46s and there's 46s.
Keep in mind, the 46s they were running weren't like your out of the box LA 46.
Yeah,
these things had power.
If you get your hands on a Tom Lay Tiger 46, you break it in right, and you put it on a plane and you take it out and fly it. And then you figure, hey, I got a contest coming up in a couple of months. I'm going to put another motor on here, stock 46, and just fly the plane till the contest. Then I'll have my good motor that I know runs good for the contest. That airplane might not make it to the contest.
That's right.
Tear it all to pieces.
Yeah, don't even think about that. Yeah.
Your stock motor just ain't got the beans that Tom Lay motor has.
Mike says there's the FSR 46 on there, but he told me
on what?
On that stiletto.
No, I don't.
This one that we're looking at.
Oh, okay. The one that, okay. Keith could tell you, but I don't think Les ever flew an FSR.
No, he was out of it before the pipes came in.
Yeah, I was just looking at if I buy this thing, is that, we had to change out motors, whatever. But
well, I'll tell you what, if you got one, if you can find a stiletto with a FSR that runs right, I mean, Bobby won the Worlds with a Genesis 46 with a 40 FSR on it with
Yeah.
a 3-blade wooden prop that his dad made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was
I
a
mean,
pipe motor, right?
no, it was
No.
a 40 FSR on a tongue muffler.
Oh, okay.
The FSRs were like the first generation of the Schnurl ported engines, and
Yeah.
That's right. They
the
go.
biggest problem with them is that everybody was trying to run them the way they ran their 46s and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and
that
they
just
wouldn't do
wasn't
it.
the
Yeah, they
right
don't
way.
run that way. Yeah, they
No.
don't
Yeah,
run that way.
if you were to drag out the FSRs now and run them like they are now with a 4-pitch prop and stuff like that, it would have had a lot better reputation than what it ended up. And it had a strong reputation, but they weren't running them right. Right?
No.
So,
No.
No, Paul Walker put one in his Bad News, which is essentially a impact, and
Yeah.
did well with it. Did very well with it.
mhm.
So
It always-
I mean, they're great motor, but you have to run them their way. You can't try to 2-4 break it.
You
It's
have to
not a
know.
Fox,
Yeah,
so-
they're not 4.24 runs at all.
No.
They're not meant
Exactly.
for that. It's like trying to run an FP out of the box 4.24. It isn't going to work.
It ain't gonna work.
They don't
Good
do it.
luck. Good luck to you, 'cause it ain't gonna happen.
When the FPs first came out, I tried doing it. I made myself crazy for 3 years trying to do that. Couldn't make it work. And I couldn't figure out why I couldn't make it work.
You got to grind down the intake ports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
Or
got-
else run it the way the motor is built. You don't
Yeah.
need to grind anything down. Run it with a 4
Well,
I got-
prop and, you know.
I got lucky on that. When they first came out, I got an FP 35. And one of the first things I did was take it out to Hobby Park and fly it with Tom. And the thing ran great, but Tommy says, put this prop on it. He had one that didn't have enough pitch for him, but says, as hard as that thing's running, it probably worked. So we put it on there and it flew great. But
Yeah.
a couple of weeks later, he suggested, why don't you send that motor to Tom Dixon? So I sent it to Tom Dixon, and Tommy reworked it and sent it back to me. And he sent me a letter with it, told me how to run it.
That's right.
And for once, I listened, and the motor ran perfect. I mean, it ran great. I swung it. To this day, I think that 35 had more grunt than most of the 40s do.
Tom Dixon knows his way around a motor. That
Yeah, he
boy
does.
he did all my Super Tiger 51s, and they run amazing, every one of them.
Yeah.
And I've never
Yeah.
had to do a thing to any of them.
Is
Never.
that the big fat head ones?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have
Wait,
one in
go
my
ahead, Al.
stiletto.
I'm sorry. I think Al's trying to get a word in.
Go ahead,
Saying
Al.
Go ahead, Al.
Thunder Tiger 46 has a lot of.
Yeah, Thunder Tiger had a great 46 if you get it reworked.
I have one in the Genesis stock, and it pulls the plane around, no problem.
What prop you run on it?
It's a APC 12 1/4 by 3 3/4.
3 3/4. Yeah. That prop works good on a lot of motors.
That prop works great on that kind of motor, for sure.
And then I got and then everybody knows the 46 VF pulls a big plane too.
You know it.
I have an 86-ounce Buccaneer, and that pulls that through the battery.
Wow.
Wow.
I have one on a full-size Cardinal. 46 VF on a full-size Cardinal. And it flies it like, it just flies it great. I haven't flown it in years.
Is
Yeah,
there anyone-
meanwhile, I'm running a 75 in mine.
Holy cow.
Hey, Len, are you
Yeah.
interested in another Super Tiger 51?
How
This
much you
friend
want
of-
for it,
This
Steve?
friend, I don't know. I'm gonna try to find that. I'll find out. But he's got two.
I'm off.
He's got two 51 Super Tigers brand new in the box.
Right?
Two LA 46s brand new in the box. Two Brodeck 40 brand new in the box. Two 25 Brodecks brand new in the box. And a that one that Brodeck sold for a while. I can't think. It's a 60.
Avistar.
Avistar.
60 brand new in the box.
Hmm.
But he's got them and he's gonna sell them off.
Hey, Joe Mata, you listening, Joe Mata? You might want to chime in on that, Brandon.
find out what he wants for the 46s and 51s, Steve. I might be interested in one of those.
All right.
Yeah, I have an update from Jeff Riley, Steve. He said he'll grab his Pache in the after party and show you.
Okay.
There you go.
I wanted to show off my perky. I completed it.
Oh,
You got it finished.
right.
Cool.
Hey,
let's-
all
let me
right.
Make it big here.
Is that your perky?
Yep.
Wow, looks
Good.
great.
That is a pretty
All
thing.
ready to go.
Yep.
Oh, man, you did a great job.
What engine you got in that?
This a 415.
Oh, okay.
Good gracious.
That looks
It'll-
great.
It'll go a zillion miles an hour. That's awesome.
I remember hearing those things scream. Y'all were flying them over on the RC hill
Yeah.
or over on the circle, over on the next hill. And
Yeah.
I kept hearing something whine so hard it would make your ears hurt. Now, what in the world? And somebody
Yeah.
told me they're flying perkies over there.
Yeah.
Those things would scream.
Oh yeah.
That's really pretty.
Nice.
The-
Great
I
job.
mean, this is like the first one that's out that we did like this design, and I was like the first one. I went to about 6 years ago. This
Yeah.
one did 112 from a dead stop,
Wow.
and
Now,
Wow.
is that the same Flora they use in combat?
yes,
Okay.
Wow.
yeah,
Oh,
modified, but yes.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that the older one with the bigger Venturi and stuff or not?
The older, what do you mean?
The new one's got smaller Venturis with the muffler or something like that.
No, that's the muffler, but I'm not running a muffler. I'm running a mini
Yeah.
pipe. That's a straight pipe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
can that even be called? Can that even be
Yeah,
called
I
a
know
mini
it's-
pipe? Because it
But I
doesn't
guess
attach.
from what I
Yeah,
found
they
out
have
today, that the floras that you get for combat aren't the same floras as they had 10 years
Well,
ago.
Wow, look at that.
They used to restrict the muffler, the hole in the back. I think it was 8 millimeter. Now, I think they made it 6 millimeter, but the intake was the same. But this isn't combat legal for FAI. I opened that up to get.
Well, I was gonna say is that this guy's got a couple floras
Yeah, 5 millimeter.
that
But this,
aren't legal for, well, they're legal for the fast.
Wow, that's neat.
say that again?
The one he has, Mike's supposed to get on here. I don't know what he's doing, but for the fast FAI, they call it. They fly.
Right. Yeah,
That the ones he has are okay for that. They're just not legal for new combat flying.
right. Yeah, well,
But I'm saying this guy is selling out these motors, and if anyone's,
mhm.
See what kind of price he's got on the 46s and 51s.
all right.
I'd be interested in one of those.
Hey, Steve,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd take another 51. I've still got a new one in the box, so I really
Oh,
don't need
okay. I
another
just
one.
want,
But
because
I appreciate
I'm
it, though.
going to
Thanks.
Brodak, and the people are
Yeah,
going to Brodak,
yeah.
and they want me to bring them.
Yeah, exactly.
There won't be no shipping or anything like that,
Yeah.
So we had we discovered a lot of control problems with this. At first we had a metal belt crank in it. And you could see now that I have a nylon control
Right.
horn. We had a little metal horn like a stunt ship would have coming down in the middle to try to keep it all nice and clean.
All right.
But you don't feel any vibrations when it's flying, but the push rod would saw right through the belt crank and through the back. So then we put a nylon belt crank in there, and then it started to saw through the control horn in the back was metal. So we had to
Wow.
switch that to metal. I mean,
Yeah, that's what a 20,000 RPM vibration does.
yeah, try about 28.
Yeah, 28.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
28,000.
Yeah, so it's sister ship, because this one was built in the first week it was built, the belt crank went and it hit the ground and it was smashed into about like 7 pieces, and it was all put back together and it flew it, and then it's with all the vibrations and everything, the body was cracking and all kinds of stress cracks. So I stripped it down to bare wood, CA'd the cracks, glassed over them, epoxied it, and then refinished everything. So I'm almost afraid to fly it now because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
But it's sister
Awesome.
ship. There's another, the sister ship to this one, identical engine, same plane, just did 119 from a dead stop.
Wow.
Like a month ago. And the
That's
weather was
awesome.
You bringing that to Brodak?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So you are gonna fly it. You're just not gonna put it on the wall now.
So I'll fly that Brodak, but I just wanted to, yeah, I'm gonna fly it.
That's really pretty.
really sharp.
But it's what's this is our need for speed for the racing guys. Because we
Yeah.
don't have enough guys to make a race, and so we can hold on to these for about 20, 30 laps. So
That's cool.
I want to build one of those
it's,
things.
it's just an old APC prop works better than every carbon fiber, glass prop, everything I ever tried. I'm always going back to APCs.
Wow. How about that?
It's only 6 inches in diameter.
Half
Good
A
gracious.
prop. Half A prop.
What's that?
Half A prop.
Yes, right.
That's awesome.
I'm
Everybody
gonna,
said, "Oh, try this prop." I said, "That's not going to work. It's too little." Put it on and go, "Holy shit!"
Oh yeah, it'll go.
It was the best thing we ever found.
Yeah.
Hey, Al, I think Keith had a comment or a question. Go ahead,
No.
Keith.
just saying, I want to build one of those things. I've got the plans, but I want to put a K&B 15R, a brand new one I've got. It's not going to go very fast compared to what you've got, but I just think it'll be so neat to see that engine sitting in an airplane like that.
A K&B 15R,
Yeah, rear intake.
but that's a steel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that's a cool engine. And I have one, but it doesn't put out the kind of power this does.
well, I know. I'm not. I'm going to go for slowest maybe, but I just think it looks so neat to have that engine sitting in that airplane.
Yeah.
It would.
Don't, to win Perky though, isn't it? It's an average or something that you win.
Well,
Or,
Well, that's
high speed and average speed.
it. All depends what you want to do. Yes, there's an average. They take the high score. They take everybody's score and they add it all together, and that's the average. And that's one event. And Paul Smith runs that. He does a great job with it. And then there's the other thing is top speed, and that's what a lot of guys are going for.
oh, okay.
And for what before the average was down in the 80s, and now the average is up in the hundreds, 100 mile an hour. Everybody's going fast. They're running Foras, Nova Rossies, Rossies, that are running really, really quick. Nelson 15s. But this is.
Here, guys, can you
I
see me?
took this to the
Yeah.
Nats last year, and I took this to the last Nats last year, and got second place at 110 miles an hour.
Very nice.
Who beat you, your buddy?
Yeah, my buddy beat me by 2 miles an hour. He did 112.
Wow.
Hey,
the-
Mike,
Maybe
tell
this time.
everybody what not to forget when you come to Michigan.
What's that?
Whoa.
Warm clothes.
Oh yeah.
Is it still cold up there, Steve?
Thank you, Al, for showing me your plane. Awesome job.
I only
That is a
brought
beautiful plane.
t-shirts and I had to steal a sweater out of my mother's closet yesterday to fly in the contest because I
Good,
was 58
Good.
degrees.
good
Yeah.
gracious.
We got frost warnings again here tonight.
Yeah, it's still like winter here. It's bloody ridiculous.
Hey, Mike,
Hey.
thanks for coming in, and Bob Gore, thank you for coming in.
Almost 100 here Sunday.
Want to tell Lenny real quick, this guy that we went to get airplanes from tonight, he had a bunch of Brad LaPointe's stuff. Oh, wow. Back in the day. Yeah. Some fast foamies. Okay. I didn't end up with any of that, but my tally was 34 F2D airplanes,
7 Meslick slows, 4 half A's, and 2 really cool old foamies that are slicers. Like
Wow.
that word slicer, but it's slicer. So I ended up with 47 planes I have in the van right now.
Holy cow.
That's
I
just,
ended up with a free lunch. Thanks,
That's-
Mike.
yeah.
Yeah, you
That's-
did good. A free lunch. Good
I
for you,
did.
Steve.
And a beer and everything.
Awesome.
Combat planes. That's not counting the stunt plane that Steve brought a Vector 40 for my buddy Chris for me to take home.
Oh,
And
cool.
also an LA 46, a brand new LA 46 for Chris that Steve gave him. And then I picked up a Strega ARF with a Super Tiger 60 in Dayton, Ohio. I dropped off an RC plane for TJ, and he gave me this Strega ARF with a Tiger 60 and a Ringmaster and a Flight Streak for Chris as well. Also in the hall today, I bought 8 Cyclones 15s.
Wow.
8 15s and a bag of, I don't know, I guess there's probably 50 or 60 F2D props in there. The Cyclones are not legal for F2D because they're, the intakes and mufflers are too big, but they're good for fast F2D. So for outlaw fast. So we, had a good visit with Steve, had a great visit with Joe and Joe Jr. Kresnik. He had an amazing basement just full of a lifetime of control line airplanes. I was able to take all the combat stuff off his hands, and we were both pretty happy. I think he was happy with what I paid, and I was happy with what I gave him for what I got. So it was good.
Awesome.
I wish I could have got a lot more. He had 3 Flight Streak ARFs on the shelf, and I was like, dude, those are like gold, man. Those things sell for $200,
Yeah,
you know. And he had a Nobler ARF on there. I'm like, those things are going for $350. You don't give those away because you can make a bunch of money with those.
And he's got another Nobler ARF. He peeled all the covering and redid the bell crank and push rod and all that. He's going to get rid of that. What's that SIG?
He had primary force ARF.
Primary force.
Wow.
Boy, I really wanted that
I'll
one.
take that
Yeah,
in just a minute.
I tried to buy it from him. You never would sell it. Now,
Give me 15 minutes.
Yeah.
see what
Yeah,
And
nobody's giving one of those away.
Did he have
No,
any
the other
tutors twos?
the other good score, I got a roll of fast cal from the guy, which
Wow. Nobody has that.
Oh, hmm.
nobody has that. Yeah. So the last
Good
roll
for
I
you.
got Marvin Denny like 10 years ago. I got a full roll from him, and I'm just about out. And the Kresniks had like a half a roll, which is still, there's probably 200 feet on there or something like that. It's still a sizable roll.
Yeah, just use it carefully. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
was a good score. And there was a lot more stuff that I would have liked to have purchased, but I just don't have room in the van. I mean,
You got a van now?
I have a van, a rental, because my truck is in the shop after
Oh,
my
okay. Okay.
so.
The van came in handy then.
like I said, I'll find out about the motors. I mean, you could really, it's bothering Joe. He's got to sell everything because he can't fly anymore. And I mean,
Right.
So
And
he at least he got rid of some of the stuff.
That airplane that Bob McDonald built, that Stiletto, it's a beautiful.
That's what I'm thinking about getting. Is that
If I could have got it home knowing that I wouldn't have punched 50 holes in the wing, I would have bought it.
What does
But
he want for it?
you're gonna have to reach out to him on that. But I think it's a more than fair price, and for what it is, as beautiful as it is and as light as it is. And Steve, I want to say he had an FSR in it. I thought that's what I heard him say. I didn't hear him say LA 46.
well, when we were upstairs, he said, I said, oh, 2 brand new LA 46s. He goes, yeah, the same as in the Stiletto. But,
Okay.
Joe you know, he's having problems with memory and stuff like that. So that's why I don't know what's really in it,
Well, it didn't have,
but I'll probably get it no matter what's in it.
it didn't have an LA-46 muffler on it.
No, he got a
That's-
Fox muffler on it.
Right. Right.
He had a Fox downturn or whatever you want to slam.
Yeah.
That fits a 46.
He had,
46.
is Dennis still on here?
Yeah.
You know the Kresniks, Dennis, because they knew you pretty well.
Who is it again?
Joe Kresnik and Joe Jr. Kresnik. They were in Grand Rapids.
No ideas.
Okay. Well, I think if you saw him or, you know, were around him,
Well,
he had some big art motors in his box. He had some Tom Lay motors in his box of motors.
Those
He
are
had
good motors.
both
of them.
What else? He had a big list that written on the outside of the. I mean, he had motors done by, you know, the guys in stunt. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
stock stuff, and then I think Steve was talking about the Super Tiger G35s. He had one all set up with ABC internals and, you know, retimed and ported and all that. Super hot combat motor for vintage combat, things like that. He had a bunch of Fox Mark 6s, Mark 7s, and a bunch of old slow planes. And because, you know, they knew all the Detroit guys that I had just been with yesterday. So they'd flown with them back in the day. And he knew quite a few of the Canadians too, Len.
Yeah, that's awesome. Specifically Brad. Yeah, he would know Brad for sure.
Whatever type of fast combat plane Brad was building in the mid 2000, you know, 26 to 2007, 2008, whatever Brad was building foamy wise then.
Yeah, he was building them. I remember those foamies. They're
Yeah,
sort of half foam, half wood type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had like a dozen of them, you know.
Wow, that's amazing.
Unfinished. They still needed covering.
Hey, Brad still has a pile of those too, unfinished. Still need covering.
They look like great airplanes, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, man, I don't want stuff I need to finish working on. You know, I was looking for F2D stuff for Sam.
Right.
And then the room was a consideration as well. You know, if I had more room, I would.
Yeah, you're trying to maximize space for what you want. I get it.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'll find out about the engines. I'll call him here in a few days.
Yeah, you need a list, Steve. You got to get a list.
Yeah, I'll get a list and stuff. He's got piston cylinder liners from George Eldridge for different motors and stuff like this, but he's got to find them all.
Okay. Wow.
And, you know, it's beautiful basement, beautiful shop, all the tools, everything you could ever want. And, you know, kind of like a hobby shop on the wall a little bit. He had his own little K&S rack in the other room, you know, with all the piano wire and the threaded rod, you know, literally
I'll take him out just a minute.
Heavily into it. Yeah.
Oh, and the balsa too. He had a
balsa.
Yeah, it was like
balsa.
Balsa.
He had a 8-foot high floor to ceiling, 8-foot high shelf, all 4-pound contest balls.
Oh my word.
Now I know why none of us can get any.
Well, you know, and he's like, it's for sale, but I'm like, you know, I got all the Marshall and Max balsa. I have all the balsa I'm ever going to need. And I was like, dude, it's desirable. It'll sell, but you know, how do you sell it? Do you sell it by the sheet? Do you sell it the whole lot? Can you ship it? You know, it's just so hard. Anything that you can ship, you can sell on eBay or through the forums, but airplanes and lots of balsa and stuff like that, it's just, what's the best way to sell it? How do you?
It's very hard to do it. Yeah.
You know, I'll try to talk to him about maybe bringing a bunch of the balsa to Brodak for people who want it, you know.
What day are you gonna get there, Steve?
I'm not sure yet what day.
Because I want to be there when you get there. Because I want to hit you up early with that balsa because I need some.
You know.
Me too.
And I just told him I'd help him out. You know, I've known Joe since I was 16 years old, and You know, he always flew with Dick. They were the Grand Rapids, part of the Grand Rapids combat team that always went over to Detroit and over to Chicago and stuff. And so, yeah, I've known him for a long, long time. And, you know, I know it's killing him to.
It's gonna kill all of us when we have to get out of this. This is
Yeah.
the game. I mean, we do it as long as we can, right?
Long as
Right.
you
Yeah.
They, you know, he also a lot of free flight stuff too. He's a big rubber free flight.
Wow.
He has some beautiful stuff there, and a lot of half A stuff too. You know, home built half A stuff that was really cool, and you know, some hot TDs and stuff like that, and some very unique half A combat wings, built up stuff that they were doing themselves. It was neat to spend a couple hours there and just kind of poke through somebody else's collection. You know, that's always fun to see what other people are building and what they have
That's
and
neat.
the things that interest them, you know, and what's hanging on the wall, what's in a pile, what's in a corner, you know. And
You know, I give him credit though. He's getting rid of it while he's still here and he can do a good job of it as opposed to waiting until later and then somebody else ends up dealing with it and then it all goes sideways.
Yeah.
It all go. So good for him.
Yeah, I almost asked him what he wanted for his car. I mean, I feel sorry for the guy. He bought a
What's he
brand new
got?
Honda,
What a shame.
and after 2 weeks of owning it, he had some kind of heart problem, and he can never drive again.
Oh,
So
Lord.
his heart does something. I don't know if they put a pacemaker in, whatever, but he can't drive anymore. I just
Oh.
didn't have the heart to ask him what he
Yeah,
wanted
that-
for his car. A brand new car that 2
That'd
weeks
break his heart.
Wow.
he drove it.
there was a box on a top shelf that said foam wing stunter. And I said, what's in there? And he's like, I don't really remember. He goes, get it down, pull that box down.
Yeah.
So I'm
Mike,
like, okay. It was like on the top shelf of
yeah,
something
Mike can just reach up and grab everything.
in cardboard and bark that foam wing stunter. And as soon as I open it up, there's an issue of flying models with Bob Hunt's Genesis on the
Oh my
Oh,
God.
wow.
I've got that one
Genesis
downstairs, yeah.
wing,
this is, and then we started pulling it out. We looked at it. It's a set of triple cord wings for Bob Hunt Genesis.
Nice. It's nice.
You know,
Wow. Did anybody buy those?
No.
no,
I'd like to buy those.
What? See, we didn't know what stuff's worth or whatever, you know, and I don't know what he even paid Bob. He can't remember what he paid Bob to.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I can tell you that Bob's price for that wing is about 225 to 260 bucks.
Now that
What-
it's not sheeted.
It's not
Oh,
sheeted, yet,
okay, not sheeted.
Just the trailing edge is put on it.
but it's
Okay.
a cord and it's got a trailing edge, but it's not. It's so
Okay.
it's
So it's just the wing. Okay.
different.
Yeah.
You know, to buy them finished or, but it's still
That's
it's
cool.
an unobtainium set of cores because Bob ain't making no more.
He didn't need it covered because he's got this 8-foot high shelf with 4-pound balsa all.
Yeah, exactly. True.
You know,
Hey guys, let me interrupt for a second. I don't want to end too quickly, but we have to end. But I wanted to know, Lynn, did you make any progress on your bear?
It's ready for clear coat. I'm just waiting for a calm, low humidity day.
So it looks
Dreamer.
tell Naomi to kick it in the ass and get that thing cleared for you.
Yeah. Naomi.
Dreamer.
all right. Well,
Lynn, I'm waiting for the same kind of day to paint my humongous, and I don't think we have those anymore.
Well, we're gonna get one because I gotta get it done at some point. I'm just gonna bite the bullet and do it because I can't wait forever.
We had no wind here today this morning, but it
Oh,
was
God, we
only
had tons
34
of it.
degrees.
Yeah.
We had thunderstorms this evening and a hurricane warning for 2
Oh
hours.
my God. Yeah, it
hey
blew.
guys,
it blew-
I have a
Go ahead,
comment
Charles.
from Greg Biswick. He says balsa is easy to ship, only 36-inch though.
Yeah, not 48. Yeah.
Right. So
Who knows
And-
what he's got there? I mean, he just has all kinds of balsa.
Yeah, there's probably, you know, 300-400 sheets there, man. It-
wow.
Wow.
As much as he has there, I don't think I've ever used that much in my whole life of building.
Wow.
You wouldn't,
No,
but
I
it's
mean,
nice.
there's a lifetime supply there of a damn balsa wood.
All right, you guys, I'm going to pull the plug. We're going to end the live stream
right back.
portion of the show. We'll continue on into the after party, and looking forward to Jeff Riley coming into the after party to straighten out Steve Hines' Pache paintbrush gun there. And we had as many as at the height of our viewing, we had as many as looks like about 26 people. And we have 18 likes right now. So if you can, before I push the end button, please hit the likes. And if you're watching the replay, please don't forget to hit the likes. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to maybe consider joining our YouTube channel memberships. And with that being said, Jeff Riley is getting ready to come in. So we're going to end the live stream. We will see you. Oh, one last thing. To join our show, you need to be a registered member of Stunthangar Forum. And then you go to At the Bench, and then there's a link with today's date. That's how everybody comes into the show. So if you're not a member, please register at stunthanger.com/SMF. And we'll see you again Friday. See ya. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Whoops, hit almost the wrong button here. Hang on. I almost ended the stream. Hang on.
Way to go, Charles. That would have been just awesome.